up in Harbor City, parts of Compton, I wasn't really exposed to the knowledge, you know, that other people would be exposed to. For example, if I went to like a private school or something, but even they were lacking. So, you know, after coming back from Africa, you know, due to like events of being abandoned there by my dad and stuff, my whole thought process changed. I developed this new way of thinking on a macro level instead of a micro level. Like, IDDRIS, what programming languages should I learn and stuff? And it's not more so of the programming languages you learn, but it's the ability to adapt.
Are there certain things that you do to kind of take a step back and clear your minds? I know you mentioned music.
No, definitely. Thing is, I consider myself an architect. You know, not a software engineer, not a producer, nothing in that ilk, because architecture, society has programmed us to think architecture is related to construction. But an architect is simply anyone that takes a non-existent idea and makes it into an actual product. So, you know, that's my approach for everything. And despite, you know, doing a lot in technology.
Talk to me a little bit about your relationship with Nipsey Hussle, and how that came about. And, you know, tell us a little bit about the technology that you created for his business.
Yeah, I mean, you know, me and Nipsey, that's like, you know, my big bro. I always like to say, you know, I feel like I'm a leader of the new school, and the leader of the new school was given to you or birthed through hip hop, because Nipsey Hussle's hip hop, you know. And so I always have to, you know, give Nipsey's credits for, like, you know, hand delivering me to the gates of hip hop, right? But you know, I was in a Starbucks. I had just finished writing some code for like Uber, because I was working with Uber on some like self-driving car stuff. So I was modifying this, and I have this like device that it can measure like bone density and stuff. And so I'm in Starbucks, you know, because I like being around people, just working on the software. And Nipsey sees it. He keeps turning to me, like 6-7 times, like, yo, what's this kid doing? And he finally, you know, comes up to me in the most respectful way, and he's like, yo, what are you doing? And I was like, you know, I'm programming right now, and blah, blah. And he's like, well, you know what? I understand the digital revolution. I understand that those who don't adapt get lost. So I'm launching a store, and I want to know what are some innovative or some futuristic ways that we can integrate anything into it. And so I was like, okay, cool. Because I had already had a lot of ideas for the retail division. And I was like, I can't launch these on my own yet, because my brand isn't that big yet. It wouldn't flop, it would be amazing, but it wouldn't impact as much as I wanted it to. And so I get back home. He hits me up, you know, after he takes his daughter to the movies, and we link up at the studio, and we talk for the whole night about ways that we could integrate stuff. And he's like, you know, the store is launching in 3 weeks though. And then I'm like, okay, deadline, you know. So I just took some 4-year-old concepts, and the reason why I use 4-year-olds is because my new ideas are so ahead of its time. It's, unless executed in the most perfect way, it would go over people's heads. So the new ideas have to be executed in 2024, you know.
Wow.
Like 2018.
I think
they're so futuristic. Yes. I'll show you one actually.
Yeah.
That will blow your guys' mind. We just can't get it out there.
Okay.
But yeah, so we just come up with these new ideas, and in 2 weeks I made this app, integrating this technology into it. We understood the law of supply and demand. We understood the digital revolution. We understood culture. And the thing that made the store really important was you took a very iconic hip hop artist with someone who's going to be a very influential and iconic tech person. But the tech person understood the culture and also understood the technology. So it was more so of, how do we design the technology to work for the culture, more so than how do we use the culture integrated just into the technology. I feel like that's a big problem with a lot of tech companies. It's like, we have this amazing piece of tech, the culture can benefit from it. No, your technology can benefit from the culture.
Exactly.
And so and
that's what they do, is they try to vertically integrate us into the technical world.
When in reality, your tech works for us.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And I know the ins and outs to know that without your consumers, without your users, your app is useless. You know? So I said, how can we make the technology work for the culture? So we launched like these shirts and merch and stuff. And I said, hey, Nipsey, you have a whole bunch of unreleased music, right? How do we take your music and fuse it with clothing so when a fan buys a song, they can download this app? And just by walking, they're literally wearing your music. So somebody can come up to them and scan the shirt and it would play an exclusive song that wasn't released anywhere else. But at the same time, you can go to the store, we can drive traffic to the store because we have these unreleased songs all over different album covers all throughout the store. And the store is now the app. So you go to the store and now you just scan different things all throughout the store, and now you have access to something that isn't on iTunes, isn't on Spotify, isn't anywhere else. You need to physically be in the store. And you know, we saw the reception. It was really amazing. We had like Vegas Jones, shout out to Vegas. We had, you know, 21 Savage, Knob. We had Russell Westbrook. We had everyone there, and it was amazing. It was an amazing experience. And you know, that's at that point that I was like, all right, full time, dedicated to impacting the culture, full time. You know, 24 hours, coming up with dope concepts. All the ideas I create. The tech is half of the solution. The other solution is the culture. You know, they thrive off of each other. And he who understands that wins.